Imagine looking down at your lunch through a pair of lightweight glasses, and instantly, without a single millisecond of lag, a digital overlay breaks down the exact macronutrient profile of your meal. It logs it against your weekly fitness goals and, even suggests a recipe for dinner.
Right, it sounds like a parlor trick from a sci-fi movie. But we are looking at how Meta is turning that exact kind of ambient real-time superintelligence into a staggering $56 billion revenue machine today.
Yeah, and that brings us to our mission for today's deep dive. We are holding a fresh, incredibly detailed financial research report from Deutsche Bank. It's titled The Early Sparks of Meta Superintelligence.
And this isn't some speculative tech blog. This is Wall Street looking at the cold, hard numbers.
Exactly. We are going to figure out how Meta is taking multi-billion-dollar gambles on AI and bridging the gap between those futuristic capabilities and actual ad revenue right now. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Well, the Deutsche Bank analysts are seeing the financial proof of the strategy playing out in real time. I mean, we should start with their valuation to really grasp the scale here.
Right, let's ground you in the reality of the numbers. Deutsche Bank has a buy rating on Meta, projecting a target price of $920.
Which is a massive jump from the current price hovering around $662.
Yeah, and they are forecasting Q1 2026 revenue to hit $56.4 billion. That is a 33% increase year over year.
I mean, sustaining a 33% growth rate for a company that already operates at a global multi-billion user scale is just nearly unprecedented.
It really is. And the underlying metric driving that is ad spend. The report notes ad spend growth on Meta is accelerating, hitting 6% in Q1 and projecting 6.4% in Q2. But when I hear accelerating ad revenue, my cynical reaction is that they're just cramming more ads into our feeds.
Right, the traditional model of just shouting at the customer.
Exactly, like a store clerk shouting with a megaphone, hoping you eventually cave and buy something. Are they just increasing the volume of shouting?
No, what's fascinating here is that Meta is doing the exact opposite of that shouting store clerk. They have deployed a really sophisticated ad load optimization strategy.
Okay, so how does that work?
Well, instead of blindly increasing the total volume of ads on your feed, the backend AI is dynamically redistributing them. It's based on your moment-to-moment psychological state.
Wait, I need you to explain that. How does a social media feed measure my psychological state?
Through behavioral telemetry. I mean, the AI isn't reading your mind, it's analyzing thousands of micro-interactions in real time.
Like what kind of interactions?
It tracks your scroll velocity, how long your thumb hovers over a particular image, or if you pause on influencer videos featuring products. When the algorithm detects a cluster of these behaviors, it categorizes you as being in a commercial mindset.
Oh, so if I linger on a video reviewing a coffee machine, the system immediately knows I am in a buying mood.
Yes, exactly. And when it senses that high-intent state, it dynamically increases the number of ads you see. But the brilliance is what happens later.
What happens later?
When your behavior shifts, say your scroll speed increases, and you transition into just mindlessly liking photos of your friends' pets, the AI actively reduces the ad load.
Ah, so going back to the store clerk analogy, this is the observant clerk who steps in to help when you're squinting at a size tag, but totally backs off the second you cross your arms.
Right, and that precise timing is incredibly lucrative. This redistribution strategy alone delivered a revenue impact 4 times larger on Facebook than if they had just aggressively increased the overall ad load.
4 times the revenue just by being polite and timing the pitch right? That is wild.
Right.
But obviously this takes massive computational power on the back end.
It does. The report mentions very specific models driving this, specifically GEM, Lattice, and Andromeda. The Andromeda architecture is particularly vital here.
Yeah, and there's an interesting hardware detail in the report. They optimized Andromeda to run on AMD chips. Why the shift to AMD when we hear so much about NVIDIA dominating AI?
It is just a masterclass in capital efficiency. Meta is mixing and matching workloads. By moving basic feed ranking to AMD, they free up their hyper-expensive NVIDIA infrastructure for training the truly revolutionary systems.
Which drastically lowers the operating cost of the daily ad engine. Yeah, all this highly contextual AI processing isn't just about showing better sneaker ads.
No, absolutely not. We are looking at the transition from back-end optimization to the deployment of a consumer-facing superintelligence.
Right, which brings us to the core driver. The report formally introduces Muse Spark. This is the first foundation model from the newly revamped Meta Superintelligence Lab.
And this is a major strategic shift.
Yeah, here's where it gets really interesting. Meta famously built its reputation by open sourcing its massive llama models. But Muse Spark is a closed model. Why spend billions building an open source empire just to lock the VIP room doors now?
Well, the report characterizes it perfectly. They are commoditizing the base and monetizing the frontier.
Break that down for me. What does that mean mechanically?
By open sourcing Llama, Meta flooded the global market with free, high-quality AI. If any startup can get world-class baseline AI for zero cost, competitors can't really charge licensing fees for their own basic models.
Right, they pulled the floor out from under the competition.
Exactly. But now, with Muse Spark, Meta is operating at the absolute frontier. By keeping it closed, they prevent competitors from instantly replicating their latest innovations.
So they can offer premium capabilities as a paid service to enterprises.
Yeah, especially in highly regulated industries like healthcare or finance that require closed, secure systems.
Okay, that makes sense as a business mode.
Yeah.
But what actually makes Muse Spark technologically advanced enough to justify paying for it?
The primary differentiator is that it was engineered from day one as a natively multimodal reasoning engine.
When you say natively multimodal, you mean it isn't just reading text and then translating it.
Right. Older models were fundamentally text engines. If you gave them an image, they had to use a bolted-on module to translate it to text, process it, and translate it back. It was clunky.
And slow, I imagine.
Very slow. MuseSpark processes visual data, text, audio, and tool use all simultaneously in the same neural pathways.
The report highlights a feature called contemplating mode. It describes it as a multi-agent system. What does that actually look like in practice?
Imagine asking one single chef to prepare a massive 5-course banquet sequentially. It would take hours. That is traditional AI.
Right, chopping, then searing, then reducing.
Exactly. A multi-agent system is like putting 5 highly specialized master chefs in the kitchen. One handles meat, one handles sauces, all working simultaneously.
So Muse Spark assigns parts of a complex problem to different internal agents at once.
Yes, achieving incredibly deep reasoning without the massive latency or wait time that plagues older models.
But here is my hurdle with this. How does a massive multi-agent reasoning engine actually reach us in our daily lives? I can't carry a server farm in my pocket.
And that is exactly what Reality Labs has been trying to solve for years. The answer is MuseSpark's unprecedented efficiency.
The report drops a staggering statistic here. Muse Spark uses an order of magnitude less compute resources than the previous Llama 4 Maverick model. That is a huge reduction.
It is the software unlock Reality Labs desperately needed. Because it is lightweight and natively multimodal, it is tailor-made for edge devices.
Meaning the processing happens locally, like right on the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses.
Yes. With augmented reality, latency is your biggest enemy. If the glasses have to beam video up to the cloud, wait for processing and beam it back down, that slight delay ruins the illusion.
It makes you dizzy and breaks immersion.
Right. Because MuseSpark runs natively on the edge, the glasses see and interpret the world in true real time.
The everyday use cases outlined here go way beyond fun 3D filters. They worked with over 1,000 physicians for wellness integration. So the AI acts as a continuous ambient companion.
Exactly. You look at your lunch, it analyzes the nutritional density, you lift weights, it highlights the muscle groups you are engaging.
And there's a new shopping mode rolling out on Instagram and Threads. It completely compresses the sales funnel.
Yes. You see a creator wearing a jacket, the AI instantly identifies it, recommends your size based on past purchases, and facilitates the transaction without you ever leaving the app.
It's incredible. But how does this tie back to the ad revenue we started with?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, acting as a wellness companion or a seamless shopping assistant is an incredibly sticky, high-frequency behavior.
So if you're wearing the glasses all day, the AI is continuously collecting high-intent data, your diet, routines, spontaneous micro-interests.
Yes, and all that rich behavioral data feeds straight back into that highly profitable targeted advertising engine we discussed. It creates a perfectly closed loop.
The hardware captures the data, which feeds the ad business, which generates the cash to fund the superintelligence. But let's do a reality check on the cost of that loop.
The infrastructure bill is definitely massive.
The report projects operating expenses around $169 billion, and there is a $21 billion cloud capacity expansion with CoreWeave through 2032.
Right, securing deployments of NVIDIA's Vera Rubin platform.
That sounds like writing blank checks to win an AI arms race. But you mentioned there's one core risk that could really derail this ad-funded future.
Yes, out of all the headwinds, the primary core risk is regulatory. Specifically, the rollout of less personalized ads, or LPAs, in Europe.
Right, due to EU consent agreements. Why does an LPA hurt the bottom line so much?
It fundamentally changes the economics of the platform. Think about a hardware company selling a specialized $500 drill bit.
Okay, so they want to target professionals.
Exactly. They're willing to pay a premium to show that ad exclusively to carpenters browsing for tools. That is a high-value ad.
Right.
If regulation forces Meta to serve less personalized ads, that drill bit ad might be shown to a teenager looking at skateboarding videos.
And the teenager isn't buying a drill bit, so the conversion rate plummets.
And the advertiser stops paying top dollar. The entire value proposition erodes. That is the true threat to the ad engine funding this whole operation.
Wow. So what does this all mean?
Right.
We have massive 33% revenue growth, driven by AI ad optimization. A strategic pivot to the closed Muse Spark model for enterprise, real-time AI in our smart glasses. And it's all funded by a jaw-dropping operational budget while dodging European regulators.
It means Meta is executing a massive high-wire balancing act. They are using an incredibly durable ad business today to foot the bill for tomorrow's superintelligence and hardware. As long as the ad engine keeps printing unprecedented cash, they can afford to keep buying the chips.
It is a brilliant financial loop. But, there is a broader implication for all of us actually wearing these devices.
Definitely. If highly efficient models like Muse Spark truly become our native daily companions, seeing everything we see and mapping our habits in real time, at what point do we stop being the users of a platform and start being the ultimate real-time training data for superintelligence that understands us better than we understand ourselves.
Oh, wow. That is a brilliant and honestly slightly terrifying thought to leave on.
Hmm.
The line between being a consumer and being the product has never been blurrier.
It really hasn't.
We will leave you to mull that one over the next time you put on a pair of smart glasses. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive. The analysis in the next one will be diving into even more exciting territory, and you absolutely won't want to miss it. Catch you next time.